Hi everyone, it's the Shah with a new topic about census geography and spatial uh, data infrastructure topic. I want to be relate how these two things can be go with each other, and the focus will be more on Pakistan census and geography over there. So let's talk about census geography. So in Pakistan, Bureau of Statistics normally conducts a national census, and which are the different reasons why we need a population and other socioeconomic data sets, so including policy making, resource allocations, and we are also using this information for delimitations of national and provincial constituencies and even local government constituencies as well. Also, allocation of the uh, National Assembly seats and the developing process. So there are a number of reasons why we need to conduct census data, and we need a detailed and both in a socioeconomically and geographically the population data sets and the census data sets. So census geography defines administrative boundaries and special units used for data collection and reporting purposes. So here there's the two purposes of the GIS related boundaries or simple cartography. So first you need to run the census. So you want to collect the data. So you need some framework, a special um, framework or the boundaries to collect the data. The second one is when you have the information, so there is a publication to disseminate that information. So it means you need to be report that data and you need some geographic level information too. So geography play a both role as well like in the data collection as well as in the reporting and dissemination of the census results. So these are the role and why who is doing and normally what the kind of expectations we are doing it. So the second component is National Special Data Infrastructure, NSDI. It's very popular terminology and term which is people using in a um, different contexts. It's a broader term. It is basically is a framework for geospatial data sharing across government, private sectors, and different researchers and decision makers too. So this framework covered a lot of components. So my understanding is what I think like what we need to be really focus on is the census geography as well. So we need to be see how the census geography is fit or relate with the NSDI. That is the main thing that which I'm trying to be connected. So we will learn what the census geography is, and as well as how this can be relate with NSDI and how NSDI can be started building of the NSDI in Pakistan by using one of the important data source. So what we normally do in SDI is establishing standards, policies, and technologies. And SDI enables efficient data collaboration to support informed decision making and sustainable development. So if you look at the major, for example, ISO TC 211 standard, International Organization for Standardization, OGC standards, and if you compare these two um, standards, so you can see the three areas focus and usage and key outputs. So mostly ISO is talking about the data structure, metadata and quality, whereas OGC talking about the web services, API, the interoperability of the data set. So usage mostly the government databases, national NSDI, and the OGC is the cloud-based GIS, the real-time applications. And the key outputs, if you want to see, is basically the metadata schemas and the data models. And here they have the WMS, WFS, and geo packages and APIs. So features and the map services. in that case. So these are two components, and now we will see how these two things, census and NSDI, can be can how they will be relate with each other. So NSDI can enhance census geography in Pakistan by reporting a standardized framework for collecting, managing, and sharing geospatial data sets. So that's the first thing we can see if we adopt the NSDI protocols. And so it means we can enhance our census geography. I will explain you what the enhance means, why we need to be enhance it, why we are not satisfied with the existing census geography. There are a lot of things which we need to be talk about it. So I will explain you in the later slides why we need some frameworks to understand, have a better and enhanced census geography, and what I really want to do with those data sets too. So this framework um, can ensure that census data is more accurate. So that's one of the things we can get more accuracy and consistent too, and accessible. So these are the major goals which is crucial for affecting planning, decision making, and cross agency collaboration. So that's one of the benefits we can see. And the last one in the bullet is that through NSDI integration, updated census geography can enable more accurate data-driven delineation of electoral constituencies, minimizing gerrymandering or partisan or racial risk, and enhancing representational fairness. So there are some benefits when we doing those enhanced census geography and following some protocols. It means we can use the census geography for a number of things in a better way because of minimizing those issues, electoral constituencies issues, and other things we can deal with those kind of things. So there are benefits, and the census and NSDI have a relationship between which we can get further into a more practically we get the practical benefits out of it. So let's talk a little bit about how the census is being conducted in Pakistan and how and what kind of census geography they have. It's a basic information which usually every student should be aware of that because one way or other they need to be deal with the census data or census geography, either it's a sociology, psychology, geography, statistics. All those students need this background information. Even agriculture students, soil science students, they need to be deal with this kind of information while they're in research or in the coursework. So there's a number of forms they use. So usually we can say that two forms. Form one, there are 11 questions. So this is a sample of the questionnaire, which downloaded from the Bureau of Statistics website. And this is the basic information about the household. And now you can see the basic information, which is the name of the city and those code. And then they have a block code number as well in this case. So this form is basically when they have this time they conducted their digital census, and each line will be for one person of the household, and they're collecting those data about their age, gender, religion, nationality, and the number of variables they collect through this form number two. There are 19 questions. If you can see, the numbers are given that. So based on these two questionnaires, where we have basic information and then more detailed information about each and every person in the household, about their different socioeconomic and characteristics. So I have a little bit more detail about those uh, for for housing level information. So there I can like describe now with the help of these three slides. So there are two components. One is about the household, like about the building, and the type of the building, access to water sources, electricity, and the type of household. So those that the one. Second one is how many people are living in that household. That's the first, the basic information, and then a little bit more go to the detailed information about each and every person in that household. So that is the overall data for each and every household and each and every person in Pakistan that we normally collect every 10 year, or some countries we collect every 5 year. So census thematic areas, if we can summarize what kind of data sets attribute information being collected, you can see the number of areas uh, overall census covered. And last slide is basically about the housing information on the housing condition, ownership, type of building, and access to the utilities. And that also be including part of the census activity. Let's talk about census, how the census data can be visualized. So this is and before that, we need to be understand the overall units, what the number of units being used. So in overall, in Pakistan, if you see the data being collected at the provincial levels, we have different provincial units, and then we have down to the units, provincial levels. Like if you go to the like more down to district and tehsil and those areas. So the one of the important unit is the charges. So charge can be divided into urban and rural area. Mostly it's an urban phenomena. Rural area, that's more is called like Kanungo and Tehsils and Kanungo and Patwar Circle. Those are the things they use it. So in the down to the charges, there are circles. So you can see the total number of circles are in that urban and rural areas. So finally, the last unit is the census blocks, which is also called enumeration blocks. So they are like 185 185,000 blocks across Pakistan. So that's the number of units. In other words, the polygons we need to be. So you want to visualize these locations. So these are the actually election maps, constituencies maps. I just want to use this information um, to show you how those geographic information can be visualized. So this in this map is a district uh, map, and then you can see the different colors that seal, and those are actually the constituencies as well. The red blocks are the constituencies, and if you go to a certain area, and then you can see the PC stand for the Patwar circle, and in the middle you see the QH is a Kanun Halka, and then within the Kanun Halka, the Patwar circle, and Patwar circle has a yellow, light yellow line. You see these are the mauzas or villages. So that's more in a rural area, but in urban area, this will become the charge, and these are the circles. So these are the names normally change in the urban or rural geography. For example, in the urban areas, MC, Faisalabad, and if you see those are the detail, and then if you look at those further, there's areas in this case, they have those green lines, I believe, is if you look at the charge boundary, and then they have a circle boundaries in within those areas. So this is the way they use a combination of the census and use the census information to delineate the boundaries. And another way to explain this delimitations, so in urban area, purely is district, I see like cantonment and charge circles, and further they have blocks, and you can see the number of households usually they carry in one unit, and then rural area mostly the up to the seal they have a Kanungo and UC, and those some areas they have STC and UC. So those are, but mostly Kanungo, Patwar Circle, and then Patwar Circle go to the Moza, and some cases Moza is divided into the census block too. So this is the normal classification of those areas. Okay, I'm going to show you how to download the census data. So this is the website of Pakistan Bureau of Statistics, and right now you're looking at the seventh population and housing census detailed results. So the detailed results are basically released in a number of tables. If you see the table one is basically giving you the total area, population by sex ratio, then these are the few other variables you will get it. So that information can be available at the national and provincial level as well. So if I go to the national level, for example, this table will be look like in a way you have those different provincial breakdown, and then these are the variables which I was talking about. So total population is 241 million and versus 207 million in 17. So in 6 years, the population is grew about 35 million. 34, 35 million over there, which is you can see that. So this is the way this population data is released, and they have number of urban localities, and they have different variables. Single age data is there too. So for example, if you want to see the single age data, and now you can do the single age by the province. And if you want to be, yeah, so this is single age and then age group together. So that information is available, both information together. And we have a total population, male, female, and then the further population is into the urban and rural divide. But if you want to see the same information at the district level, so you can go to the district level table, and there will be the same table repeated for each and every district. So for example, this table is if you look at the district name, this is all ages, and then will be if in the middle you see the Bahawal per districts, and then they will be changing whenever the district Bahawal per, Bahawal Nagar, and then we have Bakar, and this will be continued those kind of tables. And the most interesting table in this census, which for the GIS people or for the mapping and those purpose, those are the tables, which is basically the last few tables. I will explain you table number. Uh, okay, so urban rural. So table number 32, 33, and 34. These are the important tables. If you look, the selected housing starts of individual rural communities. So if we go to the KP district wise information, and now you will see that detailed information at that level. So, for example, in this table, we have first started with the district name, and then district will be having a number of tehsils. So this is the first tehsil, and the first tehsil will have first Kanungo. First Kanungo will have a first Patwar circle. So with the Patwar circle, so you can see there one, two, three are basically the Mauzas inside it. So these are the Had bus number or Mauza number. So that could be your unique key, and that key will be linked with the PC with the QH with the seal and district. So all the way you have your unique key. So this row is actually the lowest level of data which we need to be see on the map as well. So if that give you the total housing information, and then the portable, and the similar kind of table is also available for the total population as well. So I will show you the table where you get this information. So first let's try to read it. So within this Kanun Go Halka, and we have PC 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we will 8, 9, and finally we are have a 10, and then this is the Kanungo Halka number different change. So within before that all the pieces belong to this particular Kanungo, and then those each Patwar circle will have their own Mauzas, and that is the information we need to be collect. Okay, so that information we have to be when we make this table. So that's the information we need to be having in a tabular format. So that is the important information, how we will be lowest level information, what they disseminate, and how we can read it. So the next challenge is because this information is reported in a PDF format. So PDF, if we want to use it to GIS, we have to be converted into a tabular format, or data has to be provided requested to provide in a tabular format, which is a editable format for us to use it. Can show you some interesting website which is under the project is Pulse, and I'm using this website to just make a point about the census geography, how it's going to be working that. So it's interesting. So we can focus on certain area. We can pick those areas, and then we go to the district. Within the division, we can do the districts, and within the districts, you can focus on a certain tehsils, and in the certain tehsils you can go to the further moda. So they skip those patwar circle, and the kanon goes from there. And if you take those Mauzas, so you can see the Mauza boundary up to those region and surrounding Mauza that well. It's very interesting to visualize those informations what we use. So this is actual the boundary of the Mauza where we have a census information which I was talking about in another video. So that is the mapping unit with that. Okay, so when we do the micro planning, so we need a more detailed information. So micro planning means you want to be talking with the school accessibility. You're talking about some lady health worker activities. You want to be the water supply schemes. So they have so many number of things you want to see where you want to be information about that. So if you want to see your water supply schemes, and you want to be see where the water supply is, the existing water supply is there, and then now the new population is coming, how much new population data is there. So you need to be have more detailed information. So census usually they collect the household level data, but they not report it or share it for the decision making purposes for the researchers, and in some cases the government department as well. So what we need to do is basically to think how NSDI can help us to build a conceptual framework, and where we will start from the building footprints. So, and then building footprints will be going to the census blocks. So census blocks could be usually will go with the street segment. So in this case, if you see, we have the segment from here to here. That is the one segment, and because intersection with the other side of the street, and then the houses on this segment will be our one block, and then from this area to onward this side will be the second block. So just remember, typically the streets and the house facings are very relate with each other. So it's not like the houses are like in this case, if you see the either house is facing to this street or this side of that, so it's not like houses in between, they have like some plot size which is normally connected with the facing towards one of the streets. So it means we need to be find a line between them, so divide those areas, so and that become a block. So first we need what we need to do is having a individual information, and then we need to be making a blocks, and blocks has to be follow the road intersections or street intersections, those kind of things we need to be make sure we have those detailed information. So this is a way when we have those blocks, then blocks can be grouped together into a one village or one region, or if we think we need to be further divided it into further management point, if that will be fine. But we need a street level blocks, which is some countries call as census phases or census dissemination blocks, or those are different definitions. So what we need a very detailed level informations which can be used for the planning purposes. For example, in lady health worker, they usually take like 50, 60, or up to 500 households for the planning. So if the village is 500 households, so you cannot making it's not easy to make do the planning for the service area of the lady health worker within a one Mausa or one small community. So we need a more detailed information for that kind of purpose. And similarly, the water supply, access to the different other services, sewerage, and we have like a power supply and those kind of things. All those things we need a detailed information, which normally the practice is when those kind of contracts is being outsourced, they have to be collect their own data. So which is means like when you have a national level activity, so why we need to be have those individual activities to delay those planning processes and increasing the cost of those things, redoing those kind of things. So there are different ways to see those information. And then we have a cadastral maps that can be interesting in this website. I really like they have a detailed information in this website, and then cadastral maps are being added once they are completed. So you can see those information is also available. So it's interesting website and very helpful to explain the point why we need a national special data infrastructure framework, especially for dealing with the census geography and other things related with it.